Hi there, I'm Kevin O'Connor and welcome back to This Old House and our 1890s shingle style home here up in Cape Ann, Massachusetts. You can see that there is a whole new layer of shingles on this entire house. Original house ended there. There's a little bump out right here where we extended the kitchen. There's even a deck up top. And believe it or not, Charlie has got to turn this house over to the homeowners in about a week or so. There is a lot going on inside. Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Kevin.
So am I right that you've got just a little more than a week to get this whole thing done?
According to this calendar, I only have 6 days.
6 days?
6 days.
What do you got going on? It seems like everything.
We have a little more trim to install. We're finishing up some kitchen cabinets. We're painting, and believe it or not, we're even wallpapering.
You're way too calm, Charlie. I'll leave you to it.
All right.
So this used to be the kitchen back here, and you can see it's now becoming a new family room. The cabinet fronts are still going in. You can imagine a big screen TV right there for a media center. And then here in the hallway, look at that. The paint is still wet on the barrel vaulted ceiling right there. And check out this mudroom. That comes off of the garage. A lot of cabinetry, cubby space and such in there. And so this, well, this was an architect's drawing, and these were the different ideas. This became reality right here. So we've got the pilaster, check that out, the pilaster right here, the faux beam to separate the front from the back half of this entryway. Maddie, this is your work right here. Good to see you.
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
And we've got the pocket doors back in use after 120 years. Hardware was reset, they've been painted. Those are gonna look awesome. But, hey Chris, the showstopper is out here on our new front porch. Now, none of this was ever here, and now we've got beadboard ceiling, we've got an Ipe deck, and check out this railing system. We've got composite wrapped around 4x4 posts, and then mahogany for the top rail and the bottom rail, and then we've got fir for the balusters. And the sweeping stone staircase that Mark McCullough built us. We've got bluestone risers and treads beneath the temporary stairs right now, and then the granite sweep on the left and the right. And today, they're fabricating metal handrails that are going to match this sweep on this side as well as on this side. And they're being fabricated just down the street from here. Hey, Jay. Good to see you again.
David, how are you?
Oh, yeah. So you're going to be helping us out with this beautiful staircase we got, huh?
Yep, absolutely.
So you were out there to take a look at it, right? Yep. Very impressive with the stonework.
Looks great.
Yeah,
it really does. Looks nice.
So you're going to help us make it equally impressive with the handrail? What are we thinking?
So obviously, as nice as that entrance is, they wanted to use something a little special, so they went with some bronze.
Bronze,
rail.
huh?
Yep, pipe rail.
And how do you guys think about this in terms of, I don't know, gauge or weight, length?
Well, it's a bronze pipe, 1.9 inches in diameter.
Okay.
So we buy it in a straight length, 21 footer.
So big, long, 21-foot tube?
Straight piece, correct. Yep.
Okay. And what is this here? This isn't bronze, right?
Nope, that piece there is a template that we have done prior at the site in combination with some field measurements.
So it's steel.
It's steel, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. And then we went down and we dry fitted that to make sure when we got back here we had a true template to form the actual bronze width.
And it looks like you've transferred some marks from one to the other onto this one.
Yep.
Okay.
Just for reference marks.
All right, so how do we fabricate it? How do we bend it?
What we'll do is we'll put it through the machine.
All right, let's do it. So interesting, he's got the level down there. Mike's job is to keep that thing orientated right.
Correct. And the rollers will pass it through.
So now we're going to get the sense of the radius, lining him up to his marks. Look at that, huh? So you're pretty close, right?
Yep, that looks good.
Not much daylight in there. Okay, let's see how we did here. They've got it traced out on the cardboard.
They do. Right here to simulate the steel one.
What do you think? Look pretty good?
It does, it looks great.
Nice job. And so next steps?
Next step here is we'll cut the end off that's long. So we can then solder our finished product on.
Beautiful. And then when that's all put together, off to be finished?
When it's all done, it'll go off to the finisher.
Nice.
Correct.
Real nice.
Yep.
And that's about it. Now all we have to do is polish it and make it look pretty.
This front room up here on the 3rd floor used to have about 8-foot ceilings, but those were pushed up to 13 feet. A new beam was put in right there because we wanted a big vaulted ceiling, open room. Hey, Mauro. Hey, Molly.
Kevin?
Hi.
And the thought is that this is sort of a dedicated play space.
Dedicated playroom for our daughter.
Nice.
We want her creativity and her imagination to thrive, and we see this as a place where she can do that.
Plenty of room to thrive. All right, so what's the project for today, Mauro?
Well, the project for today, we're going to use a chalkboard paint for these 2 doors. And the first thing that we did it here, Kevin, that one is primed, and I have my guy prime this one here.
So we've got flat panel doors, and they're sort of giving us access to the mechanical equipment. That's why we've got them here.
Nice looking doors.
Primer first.
Primer first. Has been like 3 hours that we primed. It's dry. And now it's time for us to put the first coat of the chalkboard.
Which is this right here.
Which is this one
Beautiful.
here.
I don't smell anything. And how are we doing on VOCs?
Absolutely. This is start with the primer. The primer and the paint is completely 0 VOCs.
Nice.
Since this is a playroom, I want, the kids will play free of any VOC here.
All right. Molly, you gonna lend a hand?
Yes, I am.
Let's do it.
All right. All right, Molly, get your roller.
Okay.
Just dip into the tray, just enough for the first roll. You're gonna be doing this more than one time, okay?
You trust me?
I do, absolutely, okay? Put your hand on them.
Okay.
Okay, and just, you can start from anywhere.
Start
Just
anywhere?
go nice and easy, go all the way down
Okay.
and come back. Yeah, overlap
well?
each pass by about 50%.
Okay.
Yeah, not a lot of pressure on the roller.
Okay.
All right, well, that look good.
So Mauro, not just ordinary paint here, right? Special paint?
Absolutely not. This is chalkboard. It's specific for you to put on surface, to write on, and erase easily.
Yeah, nice deep dark black there.
Yeah, what the fun thing about this, the cool thing, and you can choose any color you want.
Oh,
not
really?
only, not only black. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll let you work on, and I'm gonna check on my guy with the primer, and I'll check with you soon.
Okay,
All right?
great. Thank you, Mauro.
Have fun. All right, Molly, this has been 3 days. It's completely dry. So now I wanted to do this next step.
Okay.
We're gonna handle this piece of chalk. What I wanted to do, we're gonna rub on across the whole door. Just go across this way,
What's the point of that, Mauro?
Yeah, why are we doing
This
that?
will make it more easy to write on and to wipe it off.
Gotta set it up.
You gotta set it.
prep
We set up for 5-10 minutes. Then we come with rag and we rag it off, and you'll be ready to
Really?
use in 3 days.
Okay.
Molly, you are in good hands. I'm going to leave you to it, okay?
Thank you. Yes.
All right, thanks, Mauro.
Thank you, Scarvin.
Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, look at that, huh? All going back in place.
Yes.
Again, the repair went okay?
Yes, they did. Here's one of the balusters that we repaired. So what we did is we actually glued up the brake, cut it flat so we could drill press it, and then inserted a dowel, glued it up, and here we go.
Boy, and that's nice and rigid, no problem there. So this
No.
one's going back in?
Yes, it is. And so we're going to insert it into the mortise, and then the dovetail goes in here.
You got them all labeled, so they're all going right back into their same spot.
Yes, they are.
Beautiful. And then you guys took off nosing that was holding these in?
Correct. And here's the top piece of the molding,
So that goes
which
back
will
in
go
there.
right here.
Right.
And then what'll happen is this piece of molding will go right underneath it.
Gotcha. And all of this ends up getting painted, as do the balusters, so all blemishes will be hidden.
That's right.
But natural stain on the top rail, right here, the handrail.
Yes, we've already stripped it, bleached it, and stained it.
And what goes on top of these?
We'll apply a coat of catalyzed lacquer and quite a bit of toner. Jim is here mixing the color. So what we've done is we've started with a base stain, something that you can get off the shelf.
Yep.
It is an industrial product. And then we're adding pigment.
So just straight pigment.
Correct. So we're adding medium green and lamp black
All right.
to achieve the color that the owner wants. Once the lacquer is applied, it'll punch it back up, it'll deepen it, and then to achieve the final color, we'll apply 2 passes of toner coat.
Toner coat being.
It's lacquer with color introduced into it. It's either a dye or a pigment. We'll be using both.
All right, let's have a look.
So what we'll do now is we'll let this set up. It'll take probably 20 minutes, and then we'll apply 2 toner coats, which will enrich in the color.
Yep.
And in between the toner coats, we'll touch up these repairs that you see are very light.
Make sure that they match.
Exactly. And then we'll apply a final coat of 30 sheen lacquer.
It's unbelievable how many coats, how much work. But nice job.
Thank you.
Cannot wait to see it finished.
Very good.
The homeowners have picked really eclectic appliances. The cooktop is induction and it's going to go right here. So the pot gets hot, but the surface doesn't. It's very efficient. They also want a teppanyaki griddle. Now, if you've ever been to a Japanese steakhouse with the chef and the flying knives and the smoke and fire, they cook on that teppanyaki grill. But we're not here to talk about cooking, actually. We're here to talk about air. Anytime you have a kitchen with a cooking appliance, you need to exhaust air and smoke to outside. And range hoods are measured in a term called CFM, cubic feet per minute. This box represents a cubic foot, 12 inch by 12 inch by 12 inch. Now, if we just had the electric induction top right here, we'd need a hood that had about 400 CFM. That means 400 of these boxes would need to move up through the fan every minute to outside. If we add the teppanyaki grill, we need 750 CFM leaving the building. So where is this air going to come from? When we build a house like this, it's super insulated, unbelievable windows, air sealed. And so now that air will try to come from anywhere it can, which means it might come down chimneys, it might come in through bathroom fans, but it's going to try to fight its way in. So I thought we would do is give you a little demonstration of what happens. So we've sealed up this room. And now I'm going to turn on this fan. Watch what happens. Okay, it's trying to find air anywhere it can. It's pulling on everything it can, any crack, everywhere we've sealed it. And what I've got over here, I could just open up a window, right? And that would give me some air to come in to offset it. But look how much air is coming in here. Okay, this is a measurement of airspeed. So that's more than 5 knots, which means it could be 6 miles an hour of potentially freezing cold air or super hot air that you've already paid to heat or cool this building. So the only real solution is to install a make-up air unit. A few weeks ago, we put one in here. Now that has a blower, a filter, a muffler, and an electric duct heater that'll actually modulate according to what it needs based on how cold the air is. Now let's turn it on. So here in the pantry, we've got the intake of the make-up air right here. Unit's underneath, that's about 10 feet from the hood. And now when that unit comes on, you can see the fan's just coming on now. And that air is slightly conditioned, and that's great. And we'll have a grill right here that'll make it disappear. But look at the difference it's going to make for our operation here. So now let's pull the tape and put our meter on. And look at this. Remember, there was almost 6 miles an hour of air coming in. It's at 0. This building is in perfect balance. Because remember, all we're trying to do is to get smoke and grease out of the building efficiently. Like that.
So the dining room plan for the Cape Ann project is very formal. So they've asked us to come up with something here in the shop. So the designer Shelby came up with a sketch, and then we've given it to Eric to try to figure out how we're going to build this thing. So what do you got?
Well, we have a 12-foot long table, 4.5 feet wide, 3-inch thick. Wow. So, and with 4 curved legs. So our first concern was stability and weight. We added a mid-span stretcher. We decided to reduce the thickness of the top to 1.5 inches and adding a 3-inch thick band around it to make it appear to be 3 inches thick.
So this is that detail here where this will shiplap into the top there.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Makes sense.
She also wanted a 1/4-inch dado up the center of the legs, so we created that detail.
Yep. And this is what it's going to look like.
And that is what it's going to look like.
That's a good looking table. So the homeowners chose black walnut for the species for the dining room table.
Yeah, it's a super dense hardwood. It's got a beautiful, nice dark grain, super durable over time. It's going to be exciting to build this nice table out of this material.
Yeah, I mean, some of the dimensions we needed and the thicknesses, you know, you just don't go to the lumber supplier and get this stuff off the shelf. So our friend Pat Hunt, who has helped us with hardwood flooring in the past, sourced this from a mill out in Missouri. So most of the black walnut is harvested in Missouri.
Yeah, so the most challenging part of this table is going to be those curved legs, and you're obviously not going to take this and bend it. So we got to cut this into laminates, and we'll bend it that way.
All right.
Now we need 30 plies at 3/30 seconds to get to our 3 inches thick.
Okay. All right, let's rip it up. All right, so that should be enough.
That's it. All right, so we're going to get this going. We're going to mix up some 2-part epoxy. Gives us about 90 minutes of cure time. All right, that's the last pump. Now we mix it for a full minute, and then we can start rolling this onto our laminates. All right, a nice thin coat on all the laminates. Now we bring it over to our form, just like that. But we're still too stiff to bend this here by hand. So we've got this jig made up with a long strap connected to a winch on that end. All right, that's good there. Now we'll get the rest of it with a clamp.
Okay.
Sweet.
So we'll let this sit for 24 hours and we'll be ready.
Yeah, worked out great.
Nice job, Riley.
All right, so here we have our tabletop.
Yeah,
it's
looking
beautiful.
good.
Got the grains matched up best we can.
Yep.
We've got 1.5-inch boards ranging between 6 and 8 inches.
Nice.
And we've also alternated the pattern of the grain. So the cupping on this is up, the next board is down, and so forth all the way down.
So
the reason we
oppose each
do
other.
that, exactly, they oppose each other. So if one starts to cup this way, the other one's going to balance it out by pulling it back down that way. And then we're going to attach our breadboard end to give us that 3-inch thick profile that we want. So again, 1.5 inches on the inside here, and we'll have slotted screw holes in the bottom to allow for that movement.
Nice. Looking good. So we got a few more pieces to go.
Yep.
All
Let's
right, I'll
do
give you
it.
a hand. All right, piece number 20.
All right, that's it. All the pieces ready to go. We got to use epoxy, glue it up, clamp it up. We got loose tenons running right down the center in every board.
Yep.
And once it's glued up, we can cut off the edges and put on that nice thick nosing.
All right, and then we got a lacquer finish going on top of that.
Yes, we do.
Sounds like about a week's worth of work.
I'll get to it.
All right.
John and Molly want to get a handle on their electricity consumption in this house. It is a big home, and it also has a solar array up on one of the roofs. So our electrician, Heath, is actually adding some smart technology to help them do that. Hey, Heath.
Hey, Kevin.
So, wow, look at this.
Yes, we ended up pulling 400 amps into this, so we split this into two 200 amps, one up here, one here, and we've also added solar. And we put this particular unit in because we want to be able to monitor everything for the home energy monitoring system in one spot. And this allows us to do that. So we can feed the solar in, and we have our 2 separate 200 amp feeds.
Okay.
And what we've done is installed the actual monitor right here.
So where is the smart monitoring? Let's
Right in
talk
the corner.
about that. So this is a system that's going to let us sort of understand what everything is.
This is.
What does the installation entail?
So normally this piece would actually just go in your main panel, whether you had a 100 or a 200 amp panel. This would go inside of it, and you'd have a CT clamp that would actually go around the feed wires, and that's how this would connect.
Our situation here is a little different because of the different panels and the solar and
A little
generator.
different. We have a little more going on, so we actually had to go to the home center, get a few parts, a couple of boxes, a little bit of conduit.
Yep.
And we wanted to make sure we got this piece inside here because it's conditioned space. Doesn't want to be outside where our main connections are.
So those CT clamps that you're talking about, literally those half circles that go around the wires,
Right.
are you putting them around the wires going into each individual breaker as it goes down the panel?
Luckily, we don't have to do that. That's the nice part of this. You really only have to do it to the 2 feed wires coming in.
So if you just put it on the feed, the main feed wire, how does it know the difference between a circuit that's a vacuum or a toaster versus a refrigerator?
That's the great thing about this. It's actually the software. So this has machine learning inside of it, and it can actually detect what's being used when.
Huh, okay. So there is an antenna on that thing, which
Right.
means it's sending information out to
the Wi-Fi network in the home. That way the owner can actually pull it up on an app or the smartphone.
Oh yeah, look at that. Okay. and it's got it up on a tablet here too. And you can see on the bottom, we've got timeline. So this is minute by minute usage,
Right.
spikes, peaks, and valleys. So that's our consumption. And how do we know the individual breakers and the individual appliances?
So we actually have a device list,
oh, look at
and it will
that.
show what it's discovered in the system so far.
It's already figured it out.
So being on a job site, it's found a bunch of saws, our
Right.
vacuums.
Right.
But the really cool thing is we just plugged the fridge in. It's already found the ice maker within a couple of days.
Cool, okay.
By watching this, you can kind of learn what's being used, what isn't being used, what's on, and where you're losing power. You can correct some things.
And the longer the homeowners are here, presumably they lived here for a while, the saws will go away and they'll be replaced with televisions and computers
Right.
and such.
Yeah,
It will
and
continue to learn.
The longer it runs, the better it gets.
Gotcha. So these are the things that are consuming. How do we deal with the production? Because in this case, we have solar up on the roof.
Sure, so this actually ties in with the solar.